The price of Bitcoin is currently breaking out of this symmetrical triangle, but there are two major factors that I am looking at before I take my trade. Also, in today's news, we're going to talk about Jack Dorsey Square. The CEO of Twitter adds 4,709 Bitcoin to its balance sheet. And also in the report today, we're seeing Bitcoin surges with rising real interest rates and economic stimulus, while gold performs better with rising inflation. And for the last news of today, banks must be allowed to let customers to store Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, says top US regulator. So if you like this news, stick to the very end. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin Census, where you subscribe for almost daily content on Bitcoin, cryptocurrency and the financial markets. I am not a financial advisor, so don't buy or sell anything that I say, and if you do so, do your own research. Said this, let's dive in straight into the charts. As you can see here, we're having a fantastic breakout here in the symmetrical triangle. I also like the volume that there is. I was expecting better, but the volume isn't too bad. We have quite a bit of volume. One thing I am looking at here is that we've got heavy resistance on this line here when the $11,200 level. I think I'm not going to place a trade myself yet, but I'm going to look if we break out this resistance with quite a bit of volume. There is a fantastic trade here to the next stop, which is the $12,000 region. As you can see here, we've got 1 point of touch, 2 here, a fake out, and then another point here where we touched at the $12,000 region. We've got heavy resistance here where we've had a point touch here, another one here, another one here. But the break to the downside, another touch here. So if we break out with quite a bit of volume from here, I'll be looking on placing quite a big trade here to look at the $12,000 region. Worst case scenario is that if the volume doesn't continue going up with the price action, this is possibly going to be a fake out and we'll go back in the symmetrical triangle and possibly break to the downside. Only if we break with a lot of volume and meet this support around the $10,000 levels. And then the worst case scenario for the next few days, if we break down with a lot of volume, we'll be looking at the $9,000 levels. But I don't think this is going to happen. I'm going to go with the price action and expect the volume to grow in the next few days. And we will definitely be looking for next week $12,000 region. And going straight to the first news of the day, Jack Dorsey's Square adds 4,709 Bitcoin to its. In a surprise move, Square announced the acquisition of 4,709 Bitcoin worth roughly $50 million at time of publication. The company's co-founder Jack Dorsey has been long-term proponent of Bitcoin and crypto, while the company's Cash App allows its users to invest in Bitcoin. And if you've been in crypto long enough, you know that the Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey on Twitter, as you can see here on the Bitcoin Census Twitter account, if you hashtag and Bitcoin, you will get this emoji logo. This is something that Jack Dorsey did a few months back. Going straight back to the news. This news comes months after another publicly traded company, MicroStrategy. We have mentioned MicroStrategy before on the channel. It's a billionaire company that's invested heavily into Bitcoin, decided to convert a portion of its treasury into Bitcoin. Currently, the company holds 38,250 Bitcoin, and its CEO, Michael Saylor, has become one of the most vocal Bitcoin advocates. Through MicroStrategy, it is a large company in its own right with a $1.5 billion market capitalization. It pales in comparison to Square, which holds an $81 billion capitalization. Square believes that cryptocurrency is an instrument of economic empowerment and provides a way for the world to participate in a global monetary system which aligns with the company's purpose. The press release noted the investment represents approximately 1% of Square's asset as of the end of the second quarter of 2020. As of June 30, the company's total asset amounted to $7.8 billion, so the acquisition may represent closer to 0.64% of the company's asset. Maybe in the near future, all companies or institutions or billionaire companies want to own 1% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, and that is going to have a huge major price impact, and I know it's going to be to the upside. And taking a look at the next news of the day, report Bitcoin surges with rising real interest rates and economic stimulus, while gold performs better with rising inflation. A new report by Bitstamp and ByteTree says Bitcoin responds better to the rising money supply, rising real interest rates, and a strong economy. This is in contrast to gold, which appears to perform better when real interest rates are falling while inflation is rising. To support these findings, the report points to the collapse of the gold price in Q2 of 2013 after the US Federal Reserve signaled it would raise rates in the future. During that period, Bitcoin value surged. In fact, the report asserts that 2013 was Bitcoin's best ever year, rising 5,400%, and gold's worst year with minus 28% since 1981. As you can see in this chart here, Bitcoin is correlated with risky assets. You can see here the black line being Bitcoin and the red line being risky assets. We can see this trend to the upside, then a flattening out, a trend to the upside, and another consolidation here. So there is a huge correlation with Bitcoin and risky assets. Gold, on the other hand, thrives on falling real interest rates rather than central bank stimulus because it has a strong link to inflation. Morris adds, hypothetically, when interest rates are falling and inflation is rising, that is the perfect storm for gold. Tight money occurs when rates rise faster than inflation, a condition that is devastating for gold. The report talks of a complementary yet opposing relationship between gold and Bitcoin. It notes if you had invested in gold, you would have made 52% and 64% from investing in Bitcoin. However, if you had invested in both of them at a 50-50 basis and rebalanced each month, you'd now have a 93%. Guys, feel free to go to the Bitcoin Census website where you've got the latest news. You've got fantastic tutorials on how to buy Bitcoin, how to store Bitcoin, even how to trade Bitcoin, and there's lots of valuable information on the website. Guys, if you like this content, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, hit that little notification bell, and I will see you in the next one.